So when we think about being more productive in our day, we need to think about this same idea of singular, intense focus on a singular activity. Does that make sense? I've got a quote from Peter Drucker here. He was kind of the first person to write on executive productivity. So when talking about this idea of multitasking, he said, there was Mozart. He could, it seems, work on several compositions at the same time, all of them masterpieces. He is the only known exception in human history. The other prolific composers of the first rank, Bach, for instance, Handel, or Haydn, composed one work at a time. They did not begin the next until they finished the preceding one, or until they had stopped work on it for the time and being put away in a drawer. Executives can hardly assume that they are Mozart. So right now, if I were to go to your workstation, how many tabs are open? Is your phone on or off? Yeah? Right? So this is what I'm talking about. When we're thinking about increasing productivity, making more use of your time, it's that singular, intense focus on one activity at a time. So there was a study that came out of UC Irvine. So when you achieve, everybody heard of like the flow state? You guys know what flow is, right? It's like when you're doing something and you're like in the zone, uninterrupted productivity, right? When you're in that zone and you're pulled away for just 1 second being pulled away. So open office concepts, really cool, hippie, we love it, right? What happens when I drop by and I'm like, hey, what are you doing for Valentine's Day? You're in your flow state. How long does that take her to return back to that state of full cognitive function? This is measured by functional MRIs. How long does it take her to return back to that state? Yeah, it's 23 minutes and 15 seconds to return back to a fully focused state. That's not just an external interruption. That is, I'm working, what's a project? Like, you probably about to run payroll, right? Accounting?
Sure.
Yeah, so you got a payroll that you need to process, or whatever the case may be. So you're sitting there, you're in the zone, you're rocking through that, ding, email comes up. You open up that email. 23 minutes and 15 seconds to return back to full cognitive function on whatever you're doing. A building project, for example, like a little buzz on my phone, 23 minutes and 15 seconds to return back to that, all right? Times that, let's say you have 10 interruptions throughout the course of a day. Now all of a sudden that, oh, I'm so busy, I don't have time to do anything in my life, right? Like, that's like 3 hours right there, just returning back to that full cognitive function. So avoiding those distractions, all right? We're gonna talk about how to set up your day a little bit, but it's important to know that this, like, I call it like cognitive ping pong. And what that does is when you're pulled over here, open a new tab, ding on my phone, somebody comes by, it's that cognitive ping pong. So you're never fully focused on a singular activity. When your brain gets pulled in those directions, what happens is you excrete a hormone that's called cortisol. So cortisol, once that gets into your bloodstream, that's what makes you feel stressed. When that cortisol gets into your bloodstream, what your brain thinks, your really primitive brain thinks, I'm going to be attacked by an enemy, right? Stress, not that long ago, right? Like 150 years ago, stress meant like my family's gonna die, not I got 8 emails I gotta get to, right? Like life's pretty good right now. You know what I mean? Like there's really no serious issues in our life right now, but our hormones are still the same as they were 150 years ago, as they were 1,000 years ago. Like our hormones have not caught up to this world we've surrounded ourselves with, right? So as that cortisol gets elevated, I feel stress. Actually, you know what happens? Our shoulders go up and forward. Do you know why? When that cortisol elevates, our shoulders go up and forward and we breathe shallow. That's actually protecting the base of your neck. That's why that reaction to stress, or when you get frightened, you do that. That's actually an evolutionary response to protect the base of your neck to keep you alive. So that feeling of cortisol, that stress, that constant distraction going between tabs, really our bodies believe that we're gonna get attacked by like a saber-toothed tiger, right? Because our hormones have not caught up to the world that we've created for ourselves. All right, so how do we use these things? The best thing that I've found to use is called the Pomodoro Technique. Is anybody familiar with this? So there's a timer when you make like legit, who's been to like Spin Pizza or Lazzarone down in River Market, right? You guys familiar with that? So Neapolitan pizza is made using like Pomodoro tomatoes. And there's a timer when you cook them, and it's a 25-minute tomato timer. It's like you can peel the skin and make the perfect sauce for the pizza, right? So the Pomodoro Technique basically says that somebody can maintain full cognitive focus for 25 minutes. Is when you can like fully focus on something for 25 minutes. When we get to the ergonomics section of this discussion, we'll talk about why that's really good for your body too. So I like to do the Pomodoro Technique. I'm going to walk you through this. So the Pomodoro Technique basically is you look at your day, right? What are the tasks that I need to create today? Or what are the tasks I need to complete today? And then I'm going to prioritize those tasks. Who makes to-do lists? How do you know what's the most important thing to do on that to-do list? How do you identify that? Deadlines, yeah. So time-sensitive. Ooh, this is really good. Time-sensitive things, right? What else? How else do you determine what's most important?
What's going to take the longest?
What's going to take the longest? Yeah, I'm going to write these down so I remember. So deadline, length of project. What else? Anything else? Maybe if you're collaborating with somebody else on something, you know, like you've got a piece I got to hand off to Matt or something like that. It's like maybe accountability is how we would prioritize this. What's that?
How long it's been in my inbox?
Yeah. So it's like, response time. That's a good one. Cool. So none of these to me really indicate importance. What moves the needle the most for the company, for my team, right? This is all like deadline based. I got to get this thing done. It's all time based. So when you think about that, when it's like, ooh, deadline, time, my inbox, like my purview is right here, right? And this is where a lot of stress and feelings of anxiety happen, is when your purview is shortened instead of broadening out. So what if we just took a to-do list and we prioritized it into 5 things, right? So every day you're allowed 5 things on your to-do list. What would this cause you to do?
Fail.
Right, yeah, I love it, yes. Fail, right? So what we want to...
One yesterday. 0 of them. Not done.
Okay, so we're going to talk about how do we set up a day to eliminate to-do lists and begin to prioritize tasks, okay? I'm giving you 5 things to do a day, okay? And I'm giving you 5 25-minute chunks for each of these things, okay? So these are our little 5 25-minute chunks. So what this looks like is you have these 5 things to do. You've got a to-do list of 30 things for a day. Does that seem fair? 30 things. All right. So now you have to whittle those 30 things into 5 of the most important tasks of that day. Okay? The task number 1, I recommend you do this at the end of the day. Your task number 1, if I do nothing else today except that thing, will I go to bed happy? So you have to look at your list of 30 things and identify what moves the needle the most for me, my team, and the company. And you have to, that one thing, you have to make that decision if I get that one thing done today. And then we're going to do these other 2 tasks. All right? These are our next 2 groupings. All right, if I get this one thing done today, die a happy man. Now, I have 2 more things that I can add on to these high-level tasks, all right? So it's kind of I call this like intrapreneurialism, right? Like, you guys don't own your own company, so you're not if you own your own company, you're forced to do this because your to-do list is 8,000 things long and it's 10 years long. Like that's your purview. So like every day you have to do this. But now how do we do this as an employee of a company? We're going to identify what are the things that move the needle the most for my team, for the company. So we're in a big, now you have this secondary tasks. And then again, you're allowed these 25-minute chunks right here. Boom, 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 boom. You get the idea. Take the 30-thing to-do list and put it into there. And then you say, well, what do I do with the other 25 things in my to-do list? What do these tasks look like? Like what are, you know what I mean? What are some of the unimportant things that you would need to do? Give me an example of one of those. Timesheet, yes. Thank you. All right.
That was for you. That was for you.
All right, timesheet, what else? Give me an idea of one of these things. Email is one.
What about your email?
Okay, I'm going to teach you guys how to kick ass at email. What are some of these other things?
Organizing.
Kind
Kind of.
Organizing, I love it, okay. All right, boom, all right. Timesheet, email, organizing, I love it because these are mindless tasks. What time you guys get to work? What time you guys get to work on average? 8 o'clock, okay. So we've got a day, 8 o'clock. What time do y'all leave? 6? Normal? 5? All right, let's call it 6. Cool, all right. When is your brain the best? I mean, you guys may be different. When's your brain the best? Morning, okay. So from 8 until when? When do you start to get fuzzy? 2. Dang. No, I mean, I want to know your first fuzzy moment. When's the first? 8:15. 10, I agree. 10, okay. Boom, all right, so 8 to 10, let's assume, because I'm kind of the same way. My moment of like kicking ass is like 5:45 in the morning until 9 is like I'm at my best, right? So what we want to do is identify when are we at our best, okay? When we're at our best, we have 2 hours right here. That is 1, 2, 3, 4 chunks. 4 of these Pomodoros on our most important task. Task 1 goes right here. What happens at 10, right? Get up, things are a little fuzzy, right? You maybe go get coffee, that 5-minute break turns into 20, you jibber jabber a little bit, right? It's hard, and then you need to go back and get focused, right? So remember, you have 23 minutes and 15 seconds before you're able to focus like you are able to right here. What do we do in this period? Yes, what we're going to do is we're going to create a batch, okay? An early morning batch. Let's call this early morning batch an email batch. We're going to divide this into 1, 2, 25-minute chunks, okay? You're going to spend 50 minutes on email separated by, between each one of these Pomodoros, boom, 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 there is a 5-minute walking period. You're on your feet, walking, no phone, outside. 5 minutes, and then back to it, okay? So in functional MRI scans, a 5-minute tech-free walk has the same cognitive benefits of 30 minutes of intense meditation. I, for one, do not enjoy meditation, but a 5-minute walk will serve me just the same, okay? So now what I have here, my early morning batch of mindless tasks, let's make this an email batch right here. What I like to think of is this early morning batch of emails is anytime I need something from somebody else. If I need something from you before this time, these are the emails I focus on, right? If I need something, not if somebody needs something from me, if I need something that goes into this first mindless batch, okay? So that's how you want to think about it. During this time, do I have my email open? Do I have my chat open? Is my phone on? The answer to all of those questions is no. You have one tab open doing those things. So now you're beginning to like take control of your day and your productivity. Each time you get pulled away from that task, again, 23 minutes and 15 seconds to get back onto it, okay? All right, this is like level 9 ninja productivity stuff. You will not transform your day into this at all. If you take anything away from it, no more than one tab open. Turn your phone off. Your phone is a 25-minute timer, if anything, and then it's a 5-minute timer for when you get up and walk, okay?